Welcome to the Tom Bernard podcast, minus Tom Bernard, with Andy Brandt Bernard and
Alex Brandt Bernard,
And
Rasmussen.
Kristyn Burt. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, you've got an
There's
extra.
so many of them.
Yeah,
I
there's
forgot
too
what
many
to.
names.
I don't know.
too many names. Yes, Kathryn and Tom are not going to be in today.
They're on
Yeah.
their way back to Minnesota.
Yeah, but only temporarily.
Yes, just
They're not
until
coming back
Monday.
permanently until later,
Yes,
like the end of the month.
late
They're
May.
spending a lot of time in Florida now. I noticed it's gone
over
from
6
like
months, yeah.
6 months to 9
Yeah.
months, maybe.
No, I don't know. It used to kind of be they were back and forth a lot, and the longest time they'd be gone was like a month, and it keeps just getting longer and longer.
Yeah, they well, I know my mom's kind of paranoid about like she doesn't want to cut too close to the amount 6 months in one day.
Yeah, she's like, we have
Because
to
then-
count our days, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it's. She keeps on saying that, and then they don't do it, and I'm like, it's really
That
easy
too. Just write them down or whatever.
to just know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but whatever works for
Whatever.
them. And also, I mean, I get not wanting to fly back and forth 80 times a year.
I don't
It's
know.
not fun to fly. It just
Mm-mm.
isn't.
Not at all. I've never, even when I was a kid, I hated flying.
I
I don't
don't
know.
care about flying. Flying doesn't bother me at all.
No.
I like getting there. Like I love to travel,
Mhm.
but it's the actual like
Being on a
hustle to the
plane.
airport. Yeah. And then get, squish on a plane and then, try and get out of there. And especially for Los Angeles, LAX is a nightmare of an
Yeah.
airport. It's not a good one.
I was gonna say,
US
I
is
think-
a good one.
Yeah, I think it depends because like the Minneapolis airport is great.
We
Like,
flew out of Terminal
it's-
2 last time, and that
yeah,
was
that's
nice.
really nice
I
because
love
it's
Terminal
small.
2.
And as long as you're going into and out of like easy to deal with airports, I don't have a problem with it because I don't know. I'm very type B, so I'm like, oh, we can get to the airport about an hour ahead of time, and it'll work out. And I'll just sit here and read my book on the plane and
I'm
have a
type
snack,
B,
like,
but I also
whatever.
have a 3-year-old. 3-year-olds are not type B ever.
I have flown
Not on a plane.
I have flown
Not on a plane,
so
not at the
many-
airport.
Yeah, I don't know. I flew with my kids a ton when they were little.
Well, Ethan's
but-
thing is he will spot, like when a dog sees another dog from 2 miles away and they just
Yes.
have to like go communicate.
Yes.
He's like that with babies. We'll be
Okay.
walking through the airport. He'll see a baby in a stroller and just beeline over to it and start tickling it in the face. And it's like, we've told you a million
No,
times you
did
can't
not
do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like trying to kiss the babies and stuff. And
Oh dear.
usually the parents are like okay with it, but not everyone wants their baby to be tickled and kissed by a strange 3-year-old who's
No,
probably covered in cold germs. So
probably.
yeah. So I don't know.
Oh,
It's
boy.
that's kind of how he is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three's a
we've
big
got-
age.
I like to travel out of Burbank. That's the other airport we have in the
So you
SoCal or
drive
the
there?
LA area. And it's so you go out in the tarmac and then you
Oh,
climb
I
up the
love
stairs.
those
Oh,
airports.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
So great.
Yeah,
Feels-
flying cloud over here. That's how they do it, but that's only private planes.
Yeah.
They don't do passenger jets out
Yeah,
of.
like when our grandpa flew in through that
Yeah.
private jet veteran
Oh,
thing.
what
he,
were
like,
they called?
Came out on
I want to shout them
something
out again.
Angels, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was something like that.
Yeah, what
Maybe
was
someone
that?
in the chat
It
remembers.
was fantastic. It was this charity, I guess. You
Yeah, the
could
guy
say.
was a veteran of Vietnam, I think, and so
Yeah.
he flew. It was like specifically he flew veterans around because he had a private plane.
for
and,
free.
Yeah, and
Oh.
since
Yeah.
well, he did it for free, and he especially liked this job because Grandpa was a World War II veteran.
Yes.
There's not that many of those left.
And he was a widower, and he wanted to come back to Minnesota.
Yeah, he had all
because
sorts
Our
of-
grandma had passed, and he wanted to come back here to be with his family and
Yep.
everything. And so, yeah, he flew on a private plane for free.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
It was really cool. Yeah. Yeah. What was that?
I know.
You're gonna have to figure.
Tyler says honor flights. I don't think that's what it
wasn't
was.
honor.
Angels flight. They do
Yeah.
like
I feel like it was something angels, like, but maybe I'm making that up.
I mean, if I Google angel flights, I'm gonna get nothing. Unless, wait,
you'll get Angel Flight Los Angeles. 'cause
is
we
it
have an
angel flight?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Free transportation. This is out of Oklahoma though. But I guess you can be out of anywhere if you got an airplane.
Yeah, that's true.
Was it angel flight? It doesn't seem right to me.
I don't know.
We'll
I-
never think of it ever.
Whatever. Or in 20 minutes, one of us will be like,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
I always think of things right before I go to bed. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
that would have been great 8 hours ago.
Yeah, that would have been good to know.
That would have been super helpful.
All right, so Kristyn, I believe you said you had something you wanted to talk about in absence of Tom and Kathryn.
Ooh.
Yes. This is kind of interesting. So I want to get the shout out because this is an actual study about movie stars. And the results to me were a little shocking. And it really kind of gives you the state of Hollywood in 2025. So let me put on my glasses so I can read this correctly. So this was the National Research Group. It's an entertainment data firm, but they surveyed 3,000 Americans from the big age span, 12 to 74.
Wow.
Huh.
And they asked them to list 5 actors or actresses that would make you most interested in seeing a new movie in a theater in the future.
Robin Williams.
Okay. So yours would be what?
You could resurrect Robin Williams. I'd be
No, he has to be
very
alive.
interested.
It has to be a living
alive
person.
So just
I
name
don't
like a
even
couple of
know.
yours
Jim
that would make
Carrey,
you
I
buy a
suppose.
ticket.
Jim Carrey is always like, I've probably seen every Jim Carrey movie.
So if you had a brand new movie coming out in June, you would actually go to the theater and buy a ticket.
I mean, if it was like a comedy that looked like the kind of thing that I like, I don't know.
But this is based solely on the actor, not on the movie, though. You know what I mean? Like, I love this actor. I'll see anything he's in.
Because I mean, I like Jim Carrey a lot in comedic roles, but if it's another number 23, I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who, because there are definitely movies that I'm like, oh, I love them. And
it's like unconditionally going to watch it because of the actor. I don't think there really are any.
I don't know. I don't think I have any either.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be like that with Sandra Bullock, but now I always know, it's going to be on streaming.
Yeah.
All right. They listed the top 25 theatrical stars, but I'll give you, does anyone want to guess who the number one is?
Chris Pratt?
No. He is not even in the top 10.
Oh, that's well, people are probably sick of him at this point.
Yeah, he was kind of in everything for a while.
Yeah, he was in everything.
The number one, is it Nicole Kidman?
No. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Denzel Washington is number one.
What?
Huh.
Denzel. And probably, I'm going to guess that Gladiator 2 was probably out or just out when the survey was done. That is my guess.
Okay, so there's he was top of mind.
Number 2 is kind of, to me, the obvious one. Global superstar. Tom Cruise, exactly.
Thank you,
number
Charles Albuquerque.
Number 3, former wrestler.
The Rock.
Jesse Ventura.
The Rock.
Fun. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Side thing. We were at Target, and The Rock has a new men's like toiletries line type.
He does?
Yeah, it's oh man, I don't know. But there was a big picture of him and
Papa Tui.
Yeah. It's
men's skincare and grooming products.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And Fawn was just why is The Rock everywhere?
I know. It's it is getting let's.
You know why? It's because they don't make money in movies anymore.
Yeah, I was like,
it's true.
He's really doing the most, So yeah, but she was like, "Why is he all over the place? What is the deal?"
She even notices.
Yes, exactly.
That means you're oversaturated if a little kid is noticing it.
Trevor in the chat had a similar sentiment to me, but I like the way he worded it. I don't think I'd ever go to watch a movie if an actor is in it. So he only watches movies with no actors.
Okay, perfect, great.
Or for the movie,
series, I suppose.
That tire movie.
Or he's like, I'm here for the action or the animation or the whatever.
Well, there's actors in Rubber though, getting their heads blown up.
Oh, I suppose it's true.
Technically, those are actors.
So that was
all right. Here, I'll round out the top 10 just so we have it. But Brad Pitt was number 4. Ryan Reynolds was number 5.
He's everywhere.
Tom Hanks number 6.
Yeah.
Will Smith number 7. Number 8, Kevin Hart. Number 9, Keanu Reeves, and number 10, Leonardo DiCaprio. Does anything stand out to you about this list? Because there's 2 things.
Leo's so low, I think, is surprising.
Well, people are kind of souring on him because of his
his personality.
23-year-old girl. He's the guy who dumps him at 23, right?
26, yeah.
26. Well, whatever. It's still weird.
And he's what, 50?
Yeah.
He's 50.
I think people are definitely. It's not like the 80s where it's you see a 50-year-old dating a 20-year-old and it's oh, there's Hollywood for you. People are starting to be like, that's weird.
Yes. I would say Tom Hanks is one that if I see that he's in a movie, I'm more likely to be interested because I like him a lot and I think he does a really good job.
I think Tom from Fountain Inn in the chat got it. No women.
Thank you. Yes. So there are no women in that.
Technically, he said no chicks, but
no chicks.
No chicks. So Scarlett Johansson comes in at number 11. Sandra Bullock's number 13, Angelina Jolie, number 16, Zendaya, 17, 18, Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, 21,
There's a bunch, but not in the top 10.
and 25, Margot Robbie. But top 10 is,
Huh.
that's the
Well,
key.
The other thing about the top 10, though, is almost all of these actors were established 20 years ago.
It's the 90s. That's exactly. They were
It's
all
90s
famous.
nostalgia actors, almost all of them.
Yeah,
All of them are, except for maybe Ryan Reynolds, who kind of early aughts, I would say.
Debatably, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the youngest on that list.
What was his
too.
first big movie? Deadpool? Was he in something before Deadpool?
No, he was in that one with Sandra Bullock. And that was kind of his like breakout.
Oh,
not
I want to say the prenuptial agreement, but that's not it. The prenup, the
what is it?
wedding proposal.
The proposal.
I
The
don't know.
proposal. Yeah, that's it.
To be
Yeah,
honest,
that was kind of his like first big movie that I feel like most people saw.
that was
with him in.
2009. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
relatively recent. He is just all of a sudden he was everywhere.
Was
I
he
didn't
in
even know
Freaks
who he
and
was.
Geeks, Ryan Reynolds?
Doesn't
Yes.
look like it.
Snow?
Yes, no.
No.
Maybe.
No, let's see. Let's look at his film.
Because that was a big like crop of like really young actors that
Yes.
became very famous.
Yeah.
Jason Segel is probably what I'm thinking of because they kind of look alike sometimes.
He
Yeah.
was
Jason
Pikachu
Segel.
and Detective Pikachu. So there you go. That's
Cool.
very important.
No, for
He was
sure.
in
Yeah.
The In-Laws in 2003.
I don't even remember that.
I
You don't
know
remember
what
that one?
is.
The first big movie, Amityville Horror, I suppose,
Oh,
2005.
I do, and he got really buff for that, really
Yes.
big and buff. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
Probably
I remember
that,
that.
And then he started getting definitely maybe I recognize he
Oh,
was
yeah,
Deadpool in X-Men Origins before Deadpool the movie.
Oh,
Yes, and that. Yes, I was just trying to think. Dead
Yeah.
Origins. Oh, I was thinking of Green Lantern.
It's
That was the big bomb,
2009. That's the Wolverine movie. Yeah.
and that's where he met Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman. There.
So yeah, he wasn't
they're
really he wasn't a
buddies.
big thing until mid 2000s. But all
Yeah.
the rest of them, I mean, every single other one was in something in the 90s, right?
Yes, I'm just looking here.
There you go.
When did Kevin Hart pop?
Oh, he
I was
might
gonna
have
say
been
Kevin
earlier,
Hart. I
or
feel like
later.
might be a little later too, because even though how old is Kevin Hart?
But he is probably
45.
about. Yeah, I was going to say he's. And then how old is Ryan Reynolds? 42, 43?
Ryan Reynolds is 48.
Yeah, he's older because
Oh,
he's.
so then Kevin's the youngest on that list.
Kevin
Yeah,
is the youngest
'cause
on the list.
I
Yeah.
think Blake Lively is about my age, and I know they have a larger age gap.
Kevin Hart's first film credit was in 2002. So yeah, and those
Okay.
Paper Soldiers, whatever the hell that is.
Never.
Right.
He was in Scary Movie 3.
Oh, those.
And he
movies.
was known for his comedy too. So
Yes.
yeah. Interesting though. Isn't that I think that's wild. And then when you go to they did ask Gen Z for their stars and like, it was Zendaya it's pretty much like
Mhm.
their breakout star. But again, she's not drawing people to the box office because there's, anyone from Gen Z or Alpha Gen, they're going to be accustomed to either watching it at home, on their laptop, on a mobile device. They don't even care
Yeah.
about having a TV.
No, I had a TV for years. I never used it. In
Yeah.
Minneapolis, Mom put a TV up over my mantle because she was like, that's where the TV goes. Put a TV there.
Yeah.
I didn't turn it on once. I don't know. I watched everything on my computer. I had 2 screens, do something on one screen, watch something on the other. Why not?
There you go. That's all you.
Yeah. I mean, even last night I watched something on my laptop because I was like, ugh, I don't feel like going to the living room. And I was just like over in bed, just grabbed my laptop and watched
Yeah,
a really trashy reality show.
Yeah. If I watch anything, I always just watch it on my phone because our TV's in our basement because we were like, we just don't want it in the main area.
Oh, you got
like,
rid of that main area TV?
years ago.
I don't know. I go to your house like once every 2 years.
That's true, but it's been longer than it was. I think Fawn was like 2.
I
when
don't
we moved
notice
into the
things.
Basement. And so I'm like, I don't want to go into the basement and sit in the basement by myself. And so
Nice
I
and
watch
cool down
things.
there.
Although I will say, but we do like movie nights with the kids every so often. Like Monday, everything was shut down because there were supposed to be tornadoes and hail, and nothing ever happened.
Yep.
So all the after school activities were closed. And we watched Homeward Bound.
You crowded around your phone and watched Homeward Bound?
Yes, on my phone.
Everybody just
Gather up.
Gather around to the little tiny screen. Let's all
Yeah.
look.
Well, it was like we were gonna need to be in the basement anyway if a storm comes. So we'll
That's
just
true.
watch a movie. We ordered
Although it's
Chinese.
right next to a big glass door, so I don't know.
Well, but then we just go into
You
the
just shuffle over to
we'd
the
go
office.
into the office.
Yep.
You would have the warning anyway, wouldn't
Yes,
you?
exactly.
I would hope.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
well, that's what the movie
not-
Twister's about.
Yeah.
Melissa was like, let's watch Twister. There's going to be a storm. And she's like, Ethan can watch Twister. And I was like, there's not really that much violence. But then I was about to put it on and I was like, the movie starts with a little girl's dad dying from a
Great.
storm.
Perfect.
So every time there's a storm, Ethan is going to be worried that I'm dying.
There's going to be some trauma.
Maybe let's not.
Twister.
That would be like me watching San Andreas, like, yay!
Yeah.
Earthquakes.
Yeah. You have to think.
Or watching fire, anything with fires right now. We're traumatized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Twister's rated PG-13.
Yeah, there's really like bad things happen in it, but it's all kind of implied. Like the dad gets sucked out of the storm cellar, but you don't see him die. You just see him vanish. Oh. And then like, a car gets crushed, but you don't see anyone in it, that sort of thing.
Well, they must swear or something in it. Why is it
I
PG-13?
think there's really not that much swearing now that I think about it.
Then why is it rated PG-13?
Because implied death, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we should probably take our first break here.
Sounds good.
And we'll come back and we'll do the remaining 500 celebrities that people like.
Perfect. Great.
How about that? All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. And you get to hear my first attempt at a live read. So we're going to see how that goes, especially since I got a migraine right now.
Fun.
And he'd be like, Martha, Mark, and banking company.
Great.
All right, here we go. I had time.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's talk about Tom's Bank, North American Banking Company. Look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. And I get to say they're my friends because I know Bilski. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company, Bilski? Visit nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Never seen you looking so bad, my funky one.
We're back with the funky ones.
That's us.
Andy, Alex, and Kristyn.
Here we are.
The funky bunch.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we need a tagline. Oh boy.
All right. So we did the list of obligatory watches, apparently, that people have.
What?
Celebrity watching.
Celebrity, yeah. People that you go to the movies to go see.
Yeah.
And 12 to 74 are all saying it's Denzel. I don't know if a 12-year-old's going to think about Denzel Washington.
What does a 12-year-old think about? When you were 12, did you have must-see celebrities?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Like, I mean,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I suppose.
Michael J.
Two
Fox
things.
in Back to the Future was like
Yeah, that was
so big.
I don't know. Even at 12, it was Jim Carrey because I don't know. When did The Mask come out? I really like The Mask.
Oh yeah, The Mask.
Let's see. The Mask would have been 94. So I would have been 8.
That was
Yeah.
the start of Cameron Diaz's career too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, but I don't
yeah.
know. I was never like, I'm going to watch this because someone's in it. It's going to be like, I don't know. I watched what my parents made me watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but we went to the movies a lot when I was a kid. So I always feel like, especially as I got into middle school and high school, especially, it would be like, let's go see a John Hughes movie. Or,
Mhm.
you know, there were certain actors that you would definitely go and see for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. People
I've
want to
never been a big Tom Cruise person, though.
Me neither.
haven't
Like,
really either. I mean, I can Mission Impossible and the one where he listens to old time rock and roll. Those are the 2 Tom Cruise things I can name. You know, where he's sliding and he's in his underwear and a shirt.
Oh,
What the hell was that?
I know, but why am
Business?
I blanking on the movie?
business. Yes.
Risky Business. Yeah.
I know. I was like,
How am
why-
I
I was
the
like-
one who remembered the name of that?
I know.
movie?
I was like, but what is it? But I mean, that's kind of that movie. When I saw it, I was like, it's an adult film. I mean, he's got that really hot sex scene with Rebecca De Mornay in Risky
I've
Business.
never actually seen
I
it.
was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen.
I've just
Risky
seen the
Business.
one scene.
Oh, they have sex on like a train, or I think the train in Chicago, because I think it took place in Chicago. I was going to say a bus, but I feel like it's a train. And I'm like, Tom Cruise doesn't really do hot sex scenes now.
No,
Well, ever since he found Scientology,
Yeah.
maybe it's against his religion.
it might be.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Can you be clear if you have a sex scene?
He had one in Top Gun. He had one in Risky Business. And then you start watching it sort of falter, right? Because even when you get to Jerry Maguire, his like love scene with, he had one with Renee. I don't even know if he had one with Renee Zellweger, but he did have one with Kelly Preston when they're in bed. It's still very sanitized because you only see Kelly Preston like from the back,
Yeah.
Mm,
and it's just
a
implied
TV sex
nudity.
scene,
Yeah.
basically.
It's
Yeah.
just sanitized.
Yeah.
And they were both Scientologists. So there you go.
Oh, there
Oh.
you go.
Okay.
Maybe
That
it's
could
like
be
you
it.
got to keep it in the faith kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, she was married to John Travolta. So there's like,
Oh, deep into Scientology.
and yeah, deep into the Scientology. So
Still like
Everywhere a
how it
thing.
was 20 years ago when half the celebrities were Scientologists.
no, in fact, you know, their power has really, really dropped. And it's interesting because those who are still in it really don't want to talk about it. You know, like 10 years ago, we had, no, actually, it's probably now 15, it's probably 20 years ago. It's 20 years ago when Tom Cruise started dating Katie Holmes and he was spouting all of this Scientology stuff and jumping on couches. And I think that was kind of like their last hurrah to like keep their power. Because when I first moved to Los Angeles, which was 2000, Scientology would advertise like acting classes, and they would be like, we have, I think it's Nancy Cartwright who was in Scientology, like Tom Cruise. They would advertise all these actors and they advertise acting classes and be like, come join us. Look at all these famous actors. But once you started seeing like Leah Remini leave and her subsequent Emmy award-winning show that she did on A&E about leaving Scientology, really, I think started like everything just started to fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it seems like Mormons are big.
Yeah.
Mormons?
Mormonism seems to be coming back.
Mormons are big. Like the new, like a poster, not poster, but like a whatever for the Secret Life of Mormon Wives or
The
whatever.
teaser
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like there was a teaser picture of all of them like coming out of water wearing like white and blue. And I was like, there are like 40 of them. How does anyone keep track? And they all look the same.
They all have the same hair. They all go to the same hairdresser. So it's extensions that are like super long. And then they do the what they call the Utah curl or the Mormon curl.
Yeah.
I was just invited yesterday actually to the premiere party for the Secret Lives of Mormon Housewives.
Are you gonna
which I think
go?
I am. I went last year and it was, let me tell you, the swag for this was
Oh, I bet.
great.
I bet.
Because Mormons have become a very big influencing culture. So
Yeah,
if you're on
apparently.
social media, you'll see a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I got a Stanley Cup, not the one for NHL people, like the
yeah.
$40 Stanley Cup that everybody
Of
wants.
course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I got a denim jacket. They embroidered my name on it and put some patches on. Like we got
Wow.
a bag. I got gold hoop earrings. Like I walked away with some nice stuff at this particular
Jeez.
party. So I was like, when I got invited again this year, I'm like, I am all over it.
Yeah. Like
Why
I'm in
not?
it for the swag.
So-
Remember this swag.
LDS members are Mormons.
Yes, but it's
Are FLDS also called Mormons?
No, because that is a breakaway from the
Right.
actual Mormon church.
Well,
So
what
if
does
you're
Mormon mean?
fundamentalist, that's an issue.
well, Mormon, they instead of the Bible, they have the Book of Mormon.
So who's Mormon?
No one is Mormon. The religion is Mormon. It's like
You could be a Mormon.
yeah, you are Mormon. Like the Christians read the Bible and Mormons read the Book of Mormon. And
No, but it's not called the Book of Jesus or Book
I
of
know,
Christianity.
but I know it's.
He must have come up with the word Mormon somehow.
I don't know where the actual Mormon came from because it's that guy that said that he
Joseph Smith.
Yeah, Joseph Smith.
John Smith is
that's-
the other one.
Yeah, that said Jesus was in like Connecticut in the 50s or something. Not
Go
that-
see the Book of Mormon musical. It's fabulous.
I haven't. I hated it.
Oh, you did?
I hated it. I was like, this is so offensive in a like unsettling way.
Yeah.
I-
And I think that's exactly what it was meant to be, unsettling. It is
Yeah.
unsettling.
And I just was like, and I don't like it. And but to me, it just at one point, it just crossed a line where I was like, this isn't funny or entertaining anymore. This is just trying to be over the top. And I
Yeah.
don't love that kind
Well,
of
that's
thing.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone for you.
Yeah.
Right. And there was a whole section on dead babies, which goes into
Yeah.
like a whole, it gets that point. You're just like,
Yeah.
I've watched
That-
through South Park twice, but there are several episodes I skip because they're like that. It's just
Yeah.
like you're just trying to be
Yes.
unpleasant at this point, and
Yeah.
I just don't
Mhm.
need to watch that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, it wasn't for me. I actually went with my mom and dad when I was living in New York. They came and we went and watched it. And I think my dad left and he like sat out in the lobby.
that sounds about right for Tom.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he could do that with anything. It could be the Phantom of the Opera and he'd be like,
He doesn't like
"Ah."
musicals. Like
He does
I could
not
talk to him all day about Wicked, and he'd be like,
I know. I told him
Yeah.
that before, like at some point in his life, before he passes, I am going to make him watch The Sound of Music with me. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
we
nice.
have because he's like,
I watched
no,
it with
I don't need
Melissa
to
like
watch
5 years ago for
He's
the
like,
first time.
I'm like, you just you can't die before you've seen The Sound of Music. That's just
All right, so
it's not
according
okay.
to etymology online here, hopefully this isn't the real etymology of Mormon because it's stupid.
Well, the Mormon religion is wild.
Yes,
like the
it is.
things that they are like, yep, that's
Mhm.
right, is
So,
wild.
Smith made up the word. It
Yep.
comes from English more and the Egyptian mon, which means good. So it's
Mhm.
more good
Yep, great,
in English/Egyptian.
perfect. That lines up.
Bill just texted me, and this is a callback to the last segment. He said Ryan Reynolds broke out in National Lampoon's Van Wilder, which is exactly it.
Yes,
I
I
don't even know what
forgot
that is.
about that.
What's a Van
Yeah.
Wilder?
A National Lampoon film.
It was kind of like in the like American Pie,
Yeah.
like
Well, he's wearing a toga, so I mean,
yeah, it
I
was
can make
kind
some
of.
inferences.
It was when all of those like zany party movies were
Animal
out.
House.
Yeah, it's about
Like,
National Lampoon's always on a college campus. So it's a
Yeah.
college student. And that was 2002.
Yes, so that was probably the tail end of the whole like college
Yes.
hijinks.
Yep. Yeah, it was because that was definitely coming off the American Pie wave for sure.
He was a
yes.
7th-year senior in the movie,
Yep.
so that
Yeah,
sounds
Van
about right.
Wilder.
And Tara Reid, see Tara Reid again. You had that American Pie tie-in.
Yep.
It's interesting. It says starring Ryan Reynolds and Tara Reid. So, but there's like a million people in it, but none of
they
them
were
are
like-
starring.
They were the main.
They were the main because Tara Reid's career at that point was really hot.
yes.
Mm.
It was so hot. And she was dating Carson Daly.
Oh, Carson Daly.
Yes, back when TRL was big on MTV
TRL.
before now he's on the Today Show like every dad, like, hey.
Yeah. I know, yeah,
But
like,
is it-
like some black painted fingernails and stuff. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
Carson
you
Daly's so
did.
cool.
Did you ever live in New York when TRL was running?
No.
So when TRL was running, it took over Times Square. People would stand outside the big windows of MTV,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun because they would like come up to the window, the celebrities, and then they would wave and like people would scream. And if you were just walking through Times Square, you'd be like, "Who's up there today?" And people would be like, "Ah, it's Justin Timberlake," or whatever.
Oh,
It was
funny.
great.
That's amazing.
Kristyn must go,
Oh,
I
yes,
assume.
go.
Oh, yes, it's the top of the hour. You better
Yeah, I
invite.
know. Time flies.
It does.
It's time for AJ. It's time for the next
Yeah,
shift.
AJ is going to be hopefully coming on. I sent him the
Mix it
email,
up.
and I haven't been looking at my phone.
We'll see what happens.
I've been
Yes.
busy picking up the slack for
The slack.
lazy Tom Bernard.
Before I go though, Alex, I wanted to get your opinion because they're bringing back Clueless and as a TV show with Alicia Silverstone on Peacock,
What?
and they're bringing back Desperate Housewives.
What?
Oh, so when you say
Yes, it's going to
bringing
be a
back-
reboot with called Wisteria Lane, and Kerry Washington is executive producing.
Oh, that could be good.
so is
Because
it going to
I
be the same people?
no.
Nobody so far. You know, it's funny because Eva Longoria just 2 nights ago was on Watch What Happens Live, and she's like, "I'm totally down for Desperate Housewives reboot. I would do it." She goes, "I don't think Mark Cherry would do it." And then like the next day, they announced the Wisteria Lane. So I'm like, I guess Eva is not in the loop of
Like,
this one.
She wasn't told.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's considered kind of an offshoot of it's like what's happening in Wisteria Lane now. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
that maybe everyone's moved out of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
That was
it's-
my mom and I loved Desperate Housewives. Like we
You sure
always watched it, and it was just so silly and fun. And
Such a good soap.
yes, yes. Oh, she's gonna be excited, and I'm excited. And Clueless, that's amazing.
It's going to catch up with Cher like 30 years later.
I cannot wait. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have watched the movie Clueless.
Weren't you like super young for Clueless?
I don't know, but I loved
It
it.
came out, I think, 96.
95. So you were
95,
like
there you go.
5 years old when it came out.
Well, I definitely didn't watch it then.
No, I would hope not.
I feel like I started watching it like 11, 12.
I know you used to watch Grease, like basically
Grease.
on loop all
I feel
day.
like Grease and Clueless were just like
and Grease is
on
definitely
a
not something you want to watch before you're
I
don't
watched
know.
Grease when I was
way too young.
Way too young.
But
and
you
I
also-
Everybody watched Grease way too young. And then you don't understand it. Everything flew over my head, honestly. And then
yes,
when I was old enough, I was like, oh, they talk about abortion. Or
Yeah.
I was like,
and
I didn't know until I was an
kids-
adult that abortion was even a part of the show.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
it's-
teenage pregnancy.
It's
and
almost
all of
better to
this,
watch
it's like-
things like that too young because
Yeah.
then you don't like get all of that at
Yes.
first.
I know there's at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater right now, Grease is playing, and a bunch of dance studio people were like, "Oh, let's all go!" And I had a friend that went, and she was like, "Do not bring Fawn to this. Like the
No.
sex scene is like very
Oh. In
like
a
And
play?
this
intense."
the play is very different than the
Oh.
Yeah.
movie, too.
It's like it would be. I would say it's rated R. Like if I had to give the play a
Wow.
rating, I was like, okay, well, not bring Fawn to Grease, but we're
Yeah.
going. Dan and I are going in like September or something like that.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh,
Yeah, because I
like-
know that sometimes they'll be like, we're doing the movie version of the musical, or if they're
Yeah,
doing the Broadway play version, totally
That's
different.
what they're doing, and it's apparently it's very like not appropriate for children.
Racy.
Yeah, racy. Great
Mhm.
word.
Good word.
Oh boy.
All right, Krista. So you'll be on Monday.
Monday. I'm
Not-
not the next 2 days. I got to be in studio early. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be here tomorrow or Friday either. So
You're not going to be here Friday either.
No, Fawn is a dance competition.
Oh, that's right. Well,
Uh,
we'll
Her
Dance
last
Mom
time
weekend.
she's doing her solo of this year.
we'll talk
Aw.
about what we're going to do Thursday and Friday. I'm sure we'll be on tomorrow.
Dad's going to be on Friday.
Is he going to
Mom
be
is
on
not.
tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay.
they
good.
both are.
No,
There you go.
No, Mom is not because it's Grandparents' Day.
The show is in
Anyway.
flux at the moment.
Things
We'll-
are happening.
We'll update you as we learn more.
I'll see y'all on Monday. How about that?
Perfect. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Thank
there you
you,
go.
Kristen.
See you guys. See you. Have a good weekend.
We'll
You too.
see you on Monday, and we will be right back with, I believe, AJ.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Let me tell you about Tom's Bank, North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust, and that's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998, and they've always made it clear they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community. And you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that know you and your situation and are always ready to help. So, if you're tired of the big national banks and want something better, stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. Visit nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Maybe you could reconsider all the love you missed since I've been gone. I'm so alone.
We have returned, and we are not so alone
Oh,
because
yeah.
we have AJ with us.
AJ.
Hey,
Surprise!
what's going on, everybody? How you doing?
Hello.
It's been a while.
Wild.
It sure has.
Yeah.
How have you both been?
Raising a 3-year-old, raising a baby.
How's
Doing
the new one
well.
coming along? Pretty well?
The
He's-
new one.
He's doing good. He's just very, very, very small.
He is
Okay.
very, very, very
He's
small.
still 0th percentile. for-
0th.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the doctor said.
That's the
She was like-
official from the doctor, 0th
She
percentile.
literally said, she's like, no, he's not 1st percentile. He's 0 percentile.
Yeah, that's how Fawn was at like 2.
Yeah.
She was not even on the charts.
Well, Ethan was like 10, 20, something like that.
Yeah.
And then now he's 90 something.
Well, at-
so, I mean,
At 6 months, his son was the size of my son at birth. That's how small
yeah,
he is.
Ethan was born incredibly tiny and then he just exploded in size.
No, Colin.
Oh, Colin? Oh, yeah. No, Colin
at
is
6 months
Colin was even,
was the size of Sage at birth.
yep, I know.
So,
Yeah.
which Sage was a giant newborn,
That's,
but
yeah, there is that.
not that giant. Like it wasn't like he was 15 pounds. He was 10 pounds.
Right?
But still.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So, he is tiny.
Colin just breached 13. So
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm wondering if he's going to be like, got dwarfism or something, but it's way too early to tell.
I was gonna say, I feel like when can you find that out?
I don't know. I'm assuming
There's got to be
like
an age.
early elementary, maybe. I don't know. Because there's so much variation in kid sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, like Ethan is coming up on Fawn and Sage's size. It's like
Well, he's just so sturdy,
he's very sturdy.
and my kids have bird bones. You can just like throw them in the sky.
Yeah, I
Just like,
know.
"Whee!"
I know.
just like float up there. It's like
Yeah,
it's like a
like-
half deflated balloon.
Yes,
They just kind of float
exactly.
back down.
They're not solid people
Yeah,
at all.
Ethan's just going around slamming into things. And did I tell you? Oh, you weren't here for the story I told you yesterday about when we were watching Lilo and Stitch.
No,
It's my new favorite Ethan story.
great.
So we were watching Lilo and Stitch, and one of the characters gets scared by an alien and passes out. You know the cartoon pass out where they just like
Yeah, like a
fall
sister, yeah.
backwards?
Mhm.
It's dramatic. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. 5-ish minutes later, we're sitting on the couch. Ethan's standing in the kitchen with the hardwood floor.
Oh,
And he
perfect.
goes, "Daddy, look."
I know what's gonna.
And he just falls backwards, slams his head right onto the floor. And we're like, did he just have a seizure or something? And he runs over to us for comfort. And after a couple minutes, I'm like, were you trying to be the lady in Lilo and Stitch? And he's like, yeah. And it's like, if an adult
Only-
did that, they would be dead.
Yeah,
Only on like a bed with 7 pillows underneath you
Yeah,
from now on.
exactly.
Well, yeah, when
like-
when actors do falls like that, I mean, yeah, they have like
Yeah.
7,000
Padding.
pillows underneath them
There's
just in
padding.
Right.
case, because you never know.
and
But
he's just like,
a toddler apparently can just do that and be
Well,
just fine.
when Sage was that age and he was smashing his head on stuff all the time accidentally, Mom would always be like, oh,
I
and he
know,
would just
it's-
like walk off and be like, "Meow, meow, meow."
You know, he's got his big bruise on his chin or not his cheek, because I was sitting cross-legged on the couch and he just runs up and accidentally slips and slams his cheek into my knee.
Sure,
And it's like,
I know.
man, I would be not alive if I lived the way you did.
3-year-olds are just a disaster,
And they sure are.
like in almost every way.
So people want to know what AJ's been up to lately.
Yeah.
But we've been like full throttle here over at Score North with like The Wolves are in the midst of their playoff run. They've got a chance to move on to the second round tonight out in LA. The Wild, we have their playoff matchup with another super tough loss last night in OT. So they're now down 3-2 in their series. Twins have done and I'm sure Tom is familiar with this. They do the bit where they're like the worst team in baseball for the first like 3 weeks.
Yep.
And now they have like back to back wins and they look like the best
So
team
they're
of all
good
time.
now?
We'll see.
Good, relatively
Time will
speaking.
tell.
So they do the opposite of the Vikings, where they're good for a while and then they just tank.
Yes, spot on. They are. It's
I'm not even a
relative to the
sports
Twins.
fan, but I know the Vikings pattern, and I've known for years.
Yeah.
Be good for like 2 months and then just lose it all.
Yep.
Yeah. And then speaking of them, we had our draft party at the Fillmore right down the street from Target Field last week. That happened on Thursday. And it wasn't as exciting, I think, as last year with like we're getting a quarterback and they're drafting early and all this stuff. It was, they went very vanilla offensive lineman. So just a big, thick hunk of man. And now hopefully JJ McCarthy is able to have some time in the pocket, but things have been going well. I'm staying really busy, which is, I need that. I can't just sit around.
Yep.
Officer
I know how
Dave
that
says,
goes.
tell AJ the Wild have no shot. So there's that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You sound like all of the people, Officer Dave. First off, great to hear from you. I haven't talked to you in a while, but it's all of the people. Judd and I were doing a post-game show last night. We have people join in, and it was just like funeral procession, anger, dismay. It was a weird mix of emotions last night because the game went to overtime and it started at almost 9:00. I think we wrapped up around like 1:30. It was a fun time, but it got pretty late.
So what is the hockey equivalent of the Super Bowl?
Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup.
The game is just called the Stanley Cup game.
No, it's a best of 7 series. So like the creme de la creme would be a game 7.
Oh,
Every
they don't have
entire
a Super Bowl.
season's exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
But that's what I prefer. Like the hockey playoffs and honestly, like I'd probably rather have NBA. Like the Super Bowl is its own thing. It is the biggest sporting event in the world that happens yearly. Like I think the World Cup in soccer every 4 years is probably like that one. But the Stanley Cup, in my opinion, hardest trophy to win. You have to win 16 games. It is a scaled back rule book because you have this amped up aggression, this amplified like rivalry. You're facing a team at least 4 times in a row, up to 7. So you get to like know each other. You make rivalries. All of a sudden it's like some guy you've never heard of who's like a third line slappy. All of a sudden that's your mortal enemy for like the next 2 weeks. And then you forget about him.
Yeah.
If I ever get a stage name, I think I'm going to make it Third Line Slappy.
That's a great idea.
It's a great stage name.
I think he has a residency in Vegas somewhere.
What's the closest we've ever come to the Stanley Cup?
In 2003, the Wild actually, right after they were, right after they were an expansion team in 2000, and then they kind of played this super boring defensive first style of hockey. They got to the Western Conference Final, which is essentially the semifinal.
So that's as close as we've ever come, is the semifinals. Huh.
Yes, exactly.
So,
otherwise,
like,
it's been a lot of
Vikings
first round
been in
exits.
The Super Bowl. So we've been close. I mean, it's been 100 million years, but
yes,
at least we can say we've been close. But no, we've
but-
never been anywhere near the Stanley Cup. Then
We're the state of hockey. So.
I know that's the other thing. It's very.
I will
interesting.
say, I'd say Minnesota puts out the most like really good hockey players, but none of them play for Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because they have this whole hashtag one of us for, this off season. Keep an eye on 2 guys. Both are named Brock, coincidentally. Brock Besser and Brock Nelson. Both are from Minnesota. They're expected to be free agents that the Wild are going to be heavily in on. And people, for some reason, it all like I've grown tired of it, but it seems like the fan base hasn't, where if somebody happens to have a cousin who has a friend who lives in a vicinity of Minnesota, they're somehow connected to the state, and that's going to make them such a better fit for I just want the best players. I want the best players.
I'm also supposed to ask about Gus Nyquist, the offside of the year.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So for everybody who missed it last night, the Wild, it's a tie game, and Ryan Hartman takes the puck, a very strong solo effort up the ice with about 1.5 minutes to play in regulation. He scores. They go to an immediate review issued by the league for a potential kicking motion. In hockey, you can't like willingly kick the puck in with your skate.
I would
They
hope
determine Yes, they would determine that. Nope, no kicking motion. The goal stands. Vegas says, hold on, not so fast. We think that play was offside. So they go back to review again. Gustav Nyquist, who at the trade deadline, the Wild, this is his second stint with the Wild. The Wild sent a second round pick for everybody who is aware of value or maybe who's not aware of value in like sports. A second round pick in hockey is it's a steep price to pay, especially for a guy who since being acquired hasn't really lived up to that hype. His biggest impact on the season since being acquired now, he did not straddle the blue line to stay on sides in what would have been a game-winning goal to put the Wild up now in the series 3-2 and a chance to clinch the round and move on to the second round here on Thursday at home. So that goal gets called back. They go to overtime. Wild lose. It was a crazy roller coaster of emotions for like, I was on top of the world. I woke up everybody in the house cheering, and then it was all for nothing because just kidding, everybody. He was offsides. That goal doesn't count, and Vegas scores maybe 15 minutes later.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
So yeah, I'm not going to say like fire him into the sun, but just scratch him. Just don't have him on the ice. You have other players who can take that spot.
Well, all right then. So there's all the questions from the chat about hockey,
Really?
I
Okay.
suppose.
Yeah.
Hockey is like the sport that I know the least about.
That's the thing is I really don't know that much about hockey.
Because-
Probably maybe because we've always been bad at it.
Well, and
I
I'm
don't
like, yeah,
know.
Dad's never cared about hockey.
No.
We've never done well in hockey. It's far away. Like the Xcel Energy Center is. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have time for this. So
No, it's one of those sports where I feel like if you're not into it early, it's
Yes.
hard to get into because it's not as good, I think, viewing on TV as football or basketball.
It's very
you have
chaotic.
exactly. It's a high pace. Like you have this tiny little black biscuit made of
Yeah.
rubber that's scooting around, and they've tried stuff to like enhance the viewing experience in the past. They like highlighted the puck on TV, and then when a player would shoot it, it would have like a vapor trail behind it, so you could easily identify.
Like an
but
actual vapor trail or a CGI one?
like a CGI, it would have like a light streak to
If it
show
was
you.
a real one, that would actually be. They should have like hockey modifiers. Like sometimes it like billows smoke, so no one can really know where it is. Smoke screen mode.
That's a
Oh my god, that like
Yeah,
once a game you can just it's like a trap card or something.
Yeah, you can activate a modifier and be like, all right, we're gonna put on smoke mode for this
That's
one
great.
oh,
and go
boy. Well,
defensive.
I will say, I feel like this time of year is most wives' most annoyed time of year with their husbands because every day there's either hockey or basketball playoff games.
I know.
Like
Melissa's so sick of me
yesterday-
watching basketball.
Yeah, I
and
was to say,
hockey.
I know, Andy, for sure you.
She's like,
no,
when
but
you
it's like
just be part of the family. I'm like, dude, the Minnesota basketball team, whose name I can't remember, they're
Timberwolves.
playing right now.
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves. That's
they
it.
play tonight at 8:30.
Yes.
8:30?
8:30.
I think 9.
9?
I
Nine.
think, unless it got pushed back.
Oh, Dan said that
No,
was 8:30,
Jaden,
but he
wives
could have been
watch
wrong.
too.
What?
Stop being so gender essentialist,
Well,
Alex.
but, okay, we were at a dance competition this last weekend, and there were it was Dan and 2 other dads, and they were all sitting with their phones in front of their faces like this. And I was
Oh,
like,
a home improvement bit kind of thing.
yes. And I was like, turn your
Yeah.
phones around. And they were all
Mhm.
watching the Wild game. And I
Yep.
took a picture of
Right.
all of them, like holding their phones out, watching
Yep.
the Wild game at the dance competition,
Oh,
like,
that's great.
between dances.
Yeah,
and I was
listening
like,
to Tim Allen listening to the
Yep.
Detroit Pistons while he's
yep.
at dinner. Yep.
I know, and Dan doesn't really care that much about the Wild. Like he didn't watch the game last night, but he cares a lot about the Timberwolves.
Are they ever good either?
The Timberwolves are fantastic.
They are probably right now in the best position to end Minnesota, like in terms of men's sports, because the women keep killing it.
Yes.
The
Thank you
the
very
Frost
much.
are having a
Thank
the Frost are having a down year after winning last year, but the Lynx continue to be like at least a very solid contending team every single year. Men's side though,
Yes.
the Timberwolves look like a powerhouse. Rudy Gobert is not a flashy player, but he's great in the post. He's an efficient scorer, fantastic. He's like a 4-time defensive player of the year. Anthony Edwards is 23, and you could say in a series with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, some of those names mean nothing to some people. I understand that, but
yes. Yeah.
but you could argue is the best player in the series. This is a guy who just he's making like $200+ million on his contract. He plays like he's making $2. He needs every single dollar, and he's earning it every single night. There's stuff off the court that I think you could be questionable about on the court. He's an absolute monster. and exactly who you want in a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey.
Which I feel like I appreciate that about him because he takes the game very, very seriously. And he he kind of is like a 12-year-old boy in
Right.
his regular life. But at the game, you can tell that he's just very serious and wants to do well and wants his team to perform. And I think that's really cool.
Mhm.
He's super fun to watch play too, because he's just so animated as well. I don't know.
Yeah. He also, I want to say it was a year or two ago, he met I don't know if it was a Make-A-Wish like meeting that was organized or what, but he met a child who was diagnosed with cancer. Actor named Luca, and Luca was like, "Hey, I want to give you something. Here's this like it's not a Live Strong, but it's like an orange bracelet like that." He's like, "I'm gonna wear this the rest of my career." And I think at times like he's gotten in scrums and it's almost like ripped. He's got it like surgically repaired. He wears it every game. If you watch him, you'll see close-ups on his left wrist. He's got this orange little band for it. Like he is connected to the community. He's only been here for a few years, but it feels like he's similar to the hockey thing. Like he feels one of us. He feels like he's a Minnesotan. Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. I'm going to get
How do you not know that? Like Sage, if you're around Sage, my son, for 5 minutes, you will hear about Anthony Edwards.
Yes, Anthony Edwards promises young Timberwolves fan with cancer he'll wear an orange bracelet, etc. So yeah, you got the story right.
And
no
I feel
corrections here.
Right after he gave it to him, they won like 7 games in a row or something like that, and they were like the magic bracelet, and it was like a whole thing.
I like the controversial opinion at the top of this Reddit thread about it.
Sure.
Little kids should never have to deal with cancer.
Okay.
I don't know. I think sometimes they should, right?
Depends on the kid. Is he an asshole?
I know. It's like sometimes saying things like that, it's like, I think we can all agree. It probably doesn't need to be said.
Yeah.
Which side of Santa's naughty and nice list were they on last year? I think that's what we have. That's what we need to consult.
There's actually a third list, the extremely naughty list.
Cancer list.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to say. I know. Sometimes you're like, why? What? Yes, of course.
Yeah. Or it's like those F cancer things. It's like, I agree.
Yes.
But everyone does, you know.
Yep. I know.
Yeah, I don't think there's many people out there that are like, we need more of it.
Yeah, or like
not enough people are losing loved ones from. No, obviously, it's like the most uncontroversial thing of all time.
Yep.
Well, I guess it's something we can all agree on for
That's
once.
good.
You know, why
At
not?
least we have that going for
that
us.
and start seeing motorcycles.
Yeah,
those are the two things we can all agree on.
I don't know about that one.
No, I never got that. Start seeing motorcycles
because
it's like I know you're supposed to like look out for them, but shouldn't it be like watch for motorcycles?
Yeah, rather than
start seeing makes it sound like here come the motorcycles. You're gonna see them everywhere.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I was like, Dad, what the hell does start seeing motorcycles mean? He's like, I don't know.
It's like color blindness. Like it's a disease. Like I wasn't able to see them, and then they came out with a brand new. It was a retina thing, and now I put on glasses, and it's like, oh, is that what a motocycle looks like? Okay, cool. Now I can acknowledge them. Thank
they
you.
were just floating people for a while.
I had no idea. I don't know. I feel like every third time I see someone on a motorcycle, they're driving around like a complete lunatic.
That is
so
very
I'm like,
true.
Well, maybe motorcyclists should drive more responsibly.
Yeah, you should,
I don't know.
You should watch some busy intersections in like Indonesia.
Oh Lord,
footage.
No.
It's
terrifying.
Like how is that entire country not dead?
It's a great question.
It breaks my brain. Like
they must have the best reflexes of any people on the entire planet.
You just always have to be on your toes, like
Yep.
ready for anything to be flying at you.
Because they're all on scooters.
Yeah.
But then there's also like a bus coming through.
Yeah.
And they're all weaving around.
like
it's like Cirque du Soleil,
cars.
but if anyone, steers the wrong way, they die.
I would just walk everywhere.
Yeah, for real.
I would just be like, I'm gonna take this slow.
I'm just gonna run on the rooftops like Aladdin. It's
There
safe
you
up
go.
there.
You can parkour your way everywhere.
I'll just be one stop ahead of the bread line.
A whole new world.
Perfect.
All right, so can you stay with us or do you have to go? It sounds like you might be busy.
I've got like 3 or 4 more minutes before I got to bounce out.
Oh yeah, we can just go till then. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Then we'll do a little break and then we'll wrap it up. Because Alex, you have to go at 11:30.
I have to go to 11:30.
So not a whole lot of time after that, but still.
Young minds.
Shape young minds.
As Mom always says whenever I leave, she has to go shape young minds.
Sure does.
Okay, the game is at 9 p.m. tonight. I'm going to text my husband right now and be like, "Game's at 9, not 8:30."
Start brewing that cup of coffee now.
Oh, I know. That's going to be.
When do you guys usually go to sleep?
I usually in bed by 10.
Oh, so yeah, that's kind of late for you then, huh?
But we're both usually in bed asleep between 10 and not between 9:30 and 10:30, depending.
yeah.
But yeah, he's going to be staying up late. And he already is like, I'm not going to work out tomorrow morning, so I'm going to be up too late. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep.
I know I could never.
I'm not watching it.
5 years ago, if you told me that, 9 o'clock seemed late, I'd have been like, well, you're clearly lying to me.
I told you
what's your
this.
What's your motive?
I told
sir?
you this when you would stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, Andy, you got to figure this out. One day you're going to have children and they're going to be up at 6:30 in the morning and you're going to be exhausted by 9. And you're like, no.
Not possible. Well, that's the other
Just
thing. Is
no.
I had Ethan, and he was going to sleep at like 10 p.m. as a baby,
Yeah, that's
and I was
weird.
like, we see, no problem. They inherited my my late gene. I'm
Yeah.
good to go.
Well, yeah, because you and Melissa would stay up super late.
She never really stayed up until like 2 or 3 like
Yeah,
I
but
did.
you'd
But
be up
we were up
until
till midnight or 1.
Yeah, which that's wild for an adult.
Yeah. And I mean, you
Well,
work,
that's like
you work later, you don't have kids.
I was
do
gonna
what you want, I
say, if you don't
suppose.
have like a normal 9 to 5, then
Well, she worked at Target, but she worked later. She was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, noon to something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do whatever you want. But then all of a sudden, one day, Ethan started waking up at 5:30 in the morning.
they'll do that.
We had to adapt very quickly at that point.
Yup.
But
I
now
know.
he sleeps till 7:30, so it's
Okay.
Okay.
To me, that still seems early, but
No.
and it will always seem early to me. But
No, 7:30 is like that's when my kids are allowed to like emerge from their rooms every morning. I'm like, you can be up, but you can't come out of your room.
yeah, that's kind of what we try to tell Ethan, but it doesn't work. Not a 3.
Like the electronic locks on the door, 7
Yep,
o'clock comes
exactly.
around. All right, now you can leave.
he
Yeah.
You
has
can
like
vacate
a
the premises.
That's what
he
we
has
do.
a sound machine that turns green at 7:30. We say green means go.
Yep.
But like, to him, go just means do whatever you want. He's not going to stay in his room and play by himself.
Oh,
He doesn't do that yet. Not really.
Oh, really?
No.
My kids. Well, but Fawn has always been like, even when she was a baby, she would wake up from a nap and just chill in her crib for like an hour,
Yeah,
just
Ethan
like
kinda did
rolling
that.
around
Yeah,
and talking to herself.
not Colin.
Yeah. And I would be like, is there a time where I need to go get her?
As long as she's happy,
It's
who
been
cares?
an hour. And then I was just like, she's just having a nice time. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave her until she
Right.
seems like she needs something. I don't know. But then Sage, he's almost 7 years old and every single night comes into our bedroom at some point.
Yep.
And it's just like laying on my hair and it's great.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of it being too late, it's too late
Oh,
for
yeah.
AJ. It's almost too late for Alex. So we're gonna have to take a break. Come back for 60 seconds or so, something like that.
Perfect. Well,
We'll
we
give
can
the
say-
update
Wait,
on.
Appreciate seeing you both again, and also please pass along to. I'm upset I wasn't able to catch Tom or Kathryn today. I haven't talked to them in a while. Hope they're both doing well. Busy day for them today, or what?
Yeah, they're flying.
They're flying back
Oh,
here
where are they going?
for the
Oh,
weekend.
they're coming back here.
Yep.
Only
All right.
briefly, but yes.
Just for the weekend.
But yeah, no,
yes.
we'll have you on probably every month or 2 months or whatever.
All
The
right.
whole
Well,
schedule thing is very like I'm the one doing it.
It's very flux.
And when I say I'm the one doing it, I mean I'm the only one doing it. So I still haven't really decided how I'm going to keep that
Well,
going.
yeah, give them my best. And to everybody listening, appreciate people being interested and wanting to know what I'm up to. I appreciate that. I do miss the loyal listeners because the fan base definitely embraced me when I was on the show, and I appreciated that greatly. So I hope you both have a super fun rest of the week. Super fun talking to you.
Yeah,
Thank you
we'll
so
talk
much.
to you again.
Yeah,
Wolves
of
five.
course.
All right.
We'll see.
All right. All right. So we got one more ad break to go.
Okay.
The first ad in this break is the client recruitment, which I do not have any copy for.
Perfect.
So I'm just going to wing it as best I can.
Enjoy.
Well, it's about trying to get advertisers on the podcast. So I can say, if you're looking to advertise on the podcast, no matter if you're looking to do once a week, 5 times a week, however much, feel free to drop us a line. Go to our website, tombernardpodcast.com. Click on advertise with us. It'll take you to an email address that you can send. I will read it personally because I'm the one who reads that email address. And we'll get you set up with some numbers. And I mean, that's about all there is to it. You want to advertise on our show? You feel free. So go to our website, click on advertise with us, email me, and we will talk about that.
Many car dealers try to create an extreme. Really buy it?
We gotta sell 100 cars by Saturday to get the boss off the roof. Or, I mean, you'll never see these rebates again. And oh, yeah, your trade will never be worth more.
Really? I asked Jim Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings his thoughts.
I don't even know what to say. I hope folks are smarter than that.
Has there really ever been a time when it was urgent?
Probably not, but this tariff environment might be a first. Valley has several hundred pre-tariff units on the ground. Who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs, but these are really safe buys. Going forward, Valley's committed to make whatever the situation is as painless as possible, like we've always done.
Where can we find you then?
Get them pre-tariff. Hurry, hurry, hurry. When they're gone, they're gone. And man,
At a Valley store in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Certainly not on a roof.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
I said, sisters, if you only knew, you would wish you were in my shoes. Keep on using me until you use me up.
We are back for the post show, basically.
Here we are.
I think we should talk about how everyone under 35 is rude.
I think that's a really good
how
idea.
Everyone is getting dumber by the minute.
And how dad is not conservative or liberal.
He's not on the far
And
left, or he's kind of middling.
He does not have a dog in this fight.
No dog.
Not
He has a dog, but it's not in this fight.
Not in the fight.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not.
I can't imagine Jude getting in any fight.
And have people ever been this mean
hateful?
to each other?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so.
I don't think they have.
I don't think they
I
have.
don't think they. It's okay. I think we've covered everything the dad talks about.
More or less.
More or
Yes.
less. Dad.
But so officially, Tom will be on tomorrow and Friday.
Yes.
Mom won't
Mom will not.
either day, I think.
She might be on. I think she's going to be on tomorrow, but then leave early because my
Okay.
kids' school has Grandparents' Day, and they have to be at the school at 11:30 to take the kids out to lunch. So I think Mom's going to come here and start the podcast, and then she's going to Uber to school, and then Dad,
Fair
when
enough.
he's done with the podcast, is going to come to
All
school for the rest of the Grandparents' Day festivities,
All
and
right.
then Friday, Dad will be on the show, but Mom will not be because Fawn.
Right. And you won't be.
I will not be because Fawn has to be at her dance competition at 10:30, and she performs at like 12:30.
At the moment, we don't have a guest scheduled Friday, so whether there's a Friday show is kind of up in the air. We'll see.
All right.
Dad wants to get Reverend Tim and some other person. They're like running for governor, I think he said.
I have
So
no
that'll
idea.
be interesting if he can get them on.
Yeah, I don't know,
But yeah, we'll
but yeah,
definitely have a show tomorrow because we have
yes,
Bill from Jack's Cafe coming on in.
okay.
Yeah. And Friday we'll see, but otherwise
I won't be here either day.
You will not be here.
I'll
And
be here on Monday.
are we doing a show Monday? Because they're not going to.
They don't leave until like the evening.
Oh, that's right. They're
Yeah.
they're getting in at like 10 p.m. or
Yeah,
something.
their flight
insane.
leaves
I don't
at
know.
their flight leaves at like 6:30.
I don't know how they're going to handle that.
I don't know either because
Yeah.
they're flying into Fort Lauderdale and then have to drive.
Yeah, so
I know.
I don't know. Maybe you won't do a show on Tuesday so they
Yeah.
can sleep in or something.
Yeah, so Monday we will all be here.
We'll all be here.
in studio
Yeah,
together.
There you go for the first time in
A while.
6 months, something like that.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. I know. So that'll be very exciting.
All right, you got to go shape young minds.
Have to go shape the young minds
Mhm.
and just remember that no one's ever been so hateful.
Nope, not ever. Just keep that in your mind throughout the day.
Yeah, don't forget it.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this was before. Every time I hear the sing, reminds me how you talking.